So, Elie, if he pursues this case against the National Enquirer, does he have one?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge distraction for AMI as well, right? Because look, it's difficult to prove extortion in a criminal setting. There's a reason why you hire lawyers to break your legs, right? Partially because what you and I think of as extortion is not really the legal standard. I mean, if a lawyer says, pay me $1 million or else I'll tell everything I know, that's like lawyer foreplay, all right? Pay me $1 million or I'll kill your dog. All right, now that's getting into.
And what's the difference, because this involves the National Enquirer, with First Amendment protection?
Right. So the question is whether or not kind of the National Enquirer was legally allowed to publish the photos that they had, and I think that gives Bezos a bit of a case here, because while the First Amendment protections are strong and should be for media organizations, this gets very close to revenge porn, right?
Like the extortion question. Here's my question, because we think about blackmail as, you know, AMI wanted something major from Bezos in exchange for not publishing these. What they wanted was, they say, for him to stop accusing them of being politically motivated, of which we haven't seen any real evidence anyway. So do you think legally that will make it even tougher for anyone to legally claim there was blackmail? Because what they were asking in return seems fairly minor. They weren't asking for money. They weren't asking for anything that he had proof of yet.
No, I actually think it makes it harder it makes it easier for Bezos to have a case here, because they were asking Bezos to do something as if, and this is a problem I think generally with the Trump era, these people think that Bezos is like sitting at the computer, like editing the Washington Post before it goes live, and that's not how it happens. So what you need for to make these kinds of cases, you need to show that there's a nexus between what they were asking for and what Bezos credibly can do. Bezos is not in a position to tell the Washington Post, stop reporting about Saudi Arabia.
But Bezos himself had investigations. He had asked private security to look into how these were leaked to the National Enquirer. Right. So were they okay to ask him to call that off?
Right, and so that's why we play our game, right? And that's why, again, like.
And if Jeff Bezos decides he wants to pursue this route, a criminal suit against AMI, Elie, what are we talking about in terms of the amount of time that would play out, the kind of information that could be released during all of this, including more information about his affair? Robert, as you mentioned, his divorce, it's not even filed yet. What should we be expecting if he goes this way?
I mean, look, I'm old enough to remember when Gawker existed, all right? So like, if I was advising Bezos as a regular person, no, this is not a great case. But as an extremely wealthy man who wouldn't even notice the legal fees that he'd be paying on this, like these kinds of suits, if it goes really bad for AMI, could go really, really bad for AMI.
And what do you think of the possibility that they broke their federal prosecution agreement? And would they have to be found to have criminally blackmailed?
Exactly.
Somebody?
It's a bit of the dog chasing its tail on that one, right? Like, if we're going to say that they were criminally blackmailing,
and if they violated that and that whole agreement goes down the tubes, then you've got two criminal problems. You've got a violation of the agreement on one hand, plus blackmail.
Yes.
Does this company survive?
But you have to be able to show the criminal blackmail really to get that consent decree in trouble.
And if they end up saying that it's not blackmail, then it lets them off the hook with regard to the other suit. And it also, if it's not blackmail, means that Jeff Bezos is pursuing something in a very high-profile way that could see more information coming out about his personal life for nothing.
Oh, you know, Bezos is totally pulling a Kaiser Soze move here. Like, he does not care about these pictures coming out anymore, clearly.
But shareholders do, and here's my issue, is that all of this may be good for Bezos personally. It may distract from this affair and the pictures he took and everything else. But from a shareholder point of view, he used to be far removed from the Donald Trump back and forth. He was far removed from getting involved in accusations against the Washington Post. He wasn't involved in the Khashoggi murder. Now he has put himself front and center into all of these debates, and I can't think that shareholders are happy about that.
All right, we have to leave it there. Gentlemen, great discussion. Thank you, Elie, for coming in. Robert, appreciate it very much as well. Robert Frank following this for us.